Hello and welcome back to my Skyrim Let's Play series. I'm here outside of Fort Dunstead. Is that it? Fort Dunstead. And I'm gonna go back to the Hall of the Vigilant here. Apparently there's a note that I missed on a table. And it's so close I might as well just run there. This is where the vampire massacre occurred. And yeah, I'm amazed the Vigilant of Stendar did so well. They killed a bunch of these hounds. They killed a master vampire. Of course, the master vampire has long black hair and a black goatee. Of course, he looks like a vampire. There's a note on the table there. Letter to Keeper Carset. Started Unholy Vigil. Carset, I've received your letter about the sudden disappearance of our patrols in the Pale. The news is troubling for sure. My old partner Fenric was among them, and he was not only a Vigil enforcer, but was the finest warrior I knew. For him to be missing is no small thing, but perhaps fate has conspired for these events to happen, so that I may repay the life debt I owe him. I will leave for Dawnstar in the morning and take a room at the inn. If I learn anything, you'll be the first to know. Stendar's mercy be with you, Azarain. Alright, let's see if we can find this Azarain. At, Dawnstar. Maybe we can inform them of what happened at the hall here. Hey kid, where's your pot? He lost his cooking pot. Aha. Grief-stricken chef. I'm gonna read your note. I hope you don't mind. Completed. Search for the Vigilant at the Wind Peak Inn. Investigate the Windward Ruins. Meet me at the Windward Ruins tonight. I have information. Come alone. Alright, well, that's our next destination. Information about vampires? Oh, dead. Wait, are you a guard? Oh no, Azarain. He's dead. Vigil veteran boots. Oh, this is new armor. Well, it's mine now. Alright, what happened to you? The investigation has moved slowly, but that was to be expected. The townsfolk have their own problems, and few pay any mind to the fate of Stendar's chosen. I will write what I have pieced together so far in hopes that it provides some clarity. From what I've gathered, Fenric came to Dawnstar to investigate rumors of Daedra worship. There was some thought that this cult was the source of the town's recurring nightmares. Yeah, we solved that problem, although it's unclear how much of that is true. Then one night, Fenric disappeared, without a word to the innkeeper or anyone in town. It was then that other patrols started to go missing, also without a trace. Of leads, I have one. The other day, the innkeeper found something curious behind the inn. In the midst of emptying the trash, it was an elven dagger, its blade warm with blood, and upon further examination, tipped with poison. The craft of the blade can mean many things. Perhaps this Daedric cult is elven in origin. Moreover, elven weapons are fashioned from quicksilver, and there is a mine in close proximity. The poison, too, could have originated from a nearby source. It's also likely that our murderer moves at night, when the eyes of the town are blind to their heathen worship. As such, I suspect 3 individuals as possible owners of the blade. Vareth, the elf, who complains of the cold and yet seems resolute in staying. Harold the miner, who works the ore from which the murder weapon was fashioned. Lastly, Irene the traveler, who seems to know more about alchemy than the proprietors of the pedestal. All 3 seem to be active in the small hours, but I can only follow one at a time. Still, doing so will prove useful, as they will either lead me to their place of worship or eliminate themselves as suspects. But first I must meet the writer of this note. Perhaps they know more about the dagger, or have information that can narrow down my search. Oh, okay, so that note that we found in the inn, that was not written by this guy. Someone led him here. Okay, so we've got 3 suspects. Harold the miner, who works the ore. Irene the traveler, who's an alchemist. And Vareth the elf, who complains of the cold, yet seems resolute in staying. We have to talk to them? Oh, trail them, okay. Check the suspect's pockets for suspicious items. I can do that. So they're all in Dawnstar, huh? Let's go to Dawnstar. I am a pickpocket now. What time is it? 5 p.m. Alright, well, I can follow them at night. But first, let's see if we can pickpocket them. Elven Dagger of Fear. Well, that's a little odd. Can I talk to him about it?
Yeah.
No. He has bloody rags, but I don't know, he could have hurt himself while mining or something. That's not terribly unusual. I mean, it's unusual to keep bloody rags on your person, I guess, but
I hope you're not planning on picking my
nope.
pocket.
I would never. Where are you going, though? You're leaving town? Bring a remedy, baked potatoes. Nothing unusual. Thank you for the ring.
Yes?
Oh, there we go. He's got his pot.
One side, coming through.
Are you feeding the miners? Well, that's nice. Okay, she's just going up there. Oh, hello. Well, I can't pickpocket you, but
Features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar.
I'm sorry.
I can see what you have in your inventory, and it's nothing.
Hey,
My mind was just somewhere else.
Make it
You
quick.
need a room, drink.
Okay. Well, we completed that part. Harold had the dagger and the bloody rag. Harold? Where are you? Okay, let's wait a few hours. Now, where are you, Harold? They're all up there. Okay. I can only follow one at a time. I'm gonna follow Harold.
What are you staring at?
Alright, Harold, time to go.
Frost took my husband years ago. He was a good man.
I'm sorry. No, Harold.
Morning.
What's so good about it, huh?
Oh, well, good day.
So grumpy. Jeez.
Thorin, do you remember the time when
I work in the mine just like everyone else.
Time to go, Harold.
Forget. That old alpha male almost took off my leg.
never did find?
the Wind Peak Inn features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar. Me.
Used to be twice as many miners working here before all this trouble started.
Sorry if my father seems a
Hi.
bit distracted.
You should quit working and
Let me stew. Alone.
Okay. Wait. Oh, he just saw me outside the inn? Now that failed it? Alright, well, it's giving us another option here. Or another chance. Where are you going, Harold? What was this dagger? Was there a poison on the dagger? What was up with that? Dagger of fear. Okay. Huh. Okay, they're all going home. But where is Harold going? He's taking a left. Okay, he's just going into the mine. there a secret passage or something down here that leads to a cult headquarters? I don't know. Where are you going, Harold? Surely you can't be mining at midnight at these ridiculous hours. What are you doing? Uh-huh. Oh, hi. Lawn. I'm just coming through. Well, this isn't normal.
Keep your blade ready.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I gotta take a picture of this. This is neat. Alright, I got a good picture. And let's see how close I can get. I don't want to get closer because they might spot me, but I want to... I do want to get closer as invisible in case they have dialogue that triggers. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, hi. Well, it's showtime. Ah, there's Fenric. Oh, they were looking for Fenric. Fenric joined the cult. Hi, Fenric. Well, I'm curious to hear his story. Vigil corrupted. Armor. This armor has little blood veins running through it.
An orc follows to... Fine. Let's trade then.
Well, I want to keep this armor, so I don't want to drop it. I'll give it to you.
Go where the challenge is greatest.
It looks good on you. Alright, let's get that journal. Miner's note. Yeah, I guess he's the one who killed, who was that? Somebody died, I don't remember. But he had the bloody rags and a dagger. Let's read the miner's note. Miner's note. The door to the temple is finished. Look for 2 rugs in a crate at the far end of the mine. Walk down the shaft to the dead end. On your right should be a button. Press it and the door will open. I wonder if I could have gotten here if I'd just explored this on my own. Maybe the, well, the note said the door was just finished, so maybe if I came here before, then the door just wasn't there at all. Vampire dust. Physicalities of Werewolves. That's a book I haven't read yet. Vigilant Enforcer. Oh, new armor. Vigilant Enforcer armor. I can't carry all this. We're dropping the veteran armor. I want the enforcer armor. Notes on dissection. We were to leave the vigilance for the ritual, but this one fought with the silver hand. It was not clear who his master was. After we fed, the master bade us to examine the body to see what else we could learn of our condition. Bone anatomy seems largely unchanged. Blood and organ samples have been taken to the alchemist. The bite marks on the shoulder are curious, need to rule out the possibility of werewolf contamination. I'm not really sure what to make of that. That note. To see what we can make of our condition. Were they trying to cure vampirism? I don't know what they were doing here. Oh, they don't like werewolves. Galar Rithari's papers. Private papers of Galar Rithari, Brilliant Armiger. Some of it's faded away. Dagoth is mentioned, Molag Bal. I placed the gem within the basin before the altar and instantly experienced a blinding of pain and terror that I cannot express in words, except that it seemed afterward that I had been asleep and dreaming that I was being sliced by thousands of tiny knives from my bowels inside out. I awoke before the altar and gazed in the reflection of my own sword blade at my own face, no longer a blood. Seeking beast of teeth and empty eyes. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's read this. This is about vampire cures, it looks like. Outnumbered and isolated, I yielded to my foe. The creature dressed like a gentleman, and I hoped for honorable treatment. Instead, I found myself a feast for a blood-drinking monster. Shamed by my corruption of vampirism, presumably, and despairing of my own welfare, I passively acquiesced in my gradual integration into the affairs of Clan Unde. I made no human my prey, only beasts, and kept myself apart from the other clankin. Nonetheless, I abandoned hope and lived like a beast. Drawn by intimations of my former life, I visited my former post at Bal-Ur, hoping perhaps to atone in sum for my crimes by preying upon its monsters, or perishing under their attacks. So he's a vampire, and I guess to make up for whatever crimes he's committed as a vampire, he decided to become a monster hunter. He's like Geralt. It is there that, by chance, I made petition to the Lord of Troubles, Molag Bal, at an altar deep in the caverns beneath the pilgrim's shrine. I was surprised and thrilled and terrified when Molag Bal, or some aspect or agent of that Daedra Lord, offered me a chance to cure myself of vampirism in return for a favor. However, with no hope for my soul or spirit unless I might be cured, I undertook his quest. And a bunch of it is faded out. I can't really... make it out. Finally joined... Yeah, I can't really get much out of that. And so... the next paragraph, I placed the gem within the basin before the altar. So apparently this quest involved finding some kind of gem. And instantly experienced a binding of pain and terror. Yeah, we read that. Sliced by a bunch of tiny knives. So he woke before the altar and gazed into the reflection of my own sword blade. At my own face, no longer a blood. Seeking beast of teeth and empty eyes. Well, I don't know if he was actually cured. He doesn't say. This is the altar he was staring into, presumably. And he put the gem somewhere. I heard somebody yawn. Are there miners outside? I think he became a seeking beast of teeth and empty eyes. He became a werewolf hunter. Maybe. Does this guy not like werewolves? Molag Bal. Physicalities of the werewolf. Yeah, otherwise why would they be so obsessed with werewolves? Vampires shouldn't really care about werewolves. Wouldn't they just kind of leave each other alone? But they've got all these books on werewolves. They've got the werewolf heads. I think it turned him into a werewolf hunter. Maybe werewolves are... I don't know, I'm just kind of speculating, but this guy is the, what's his name? Molag Bal? He's like the vampire, Daedra Lord, and then there's a... probably another Daedra Lord that's like the werewolf Daedra Lord. I don't know what their name is, but they're probably competing or fighting or something. So he wants me to kill, or he wants these vampires to kill, to become werewolf hunters, maybe. That's kind of the sense I'm getting. Okay, now, Fenric. There's one more journal we didn't read. That's Fenric's journal. Fenric. Fenric. Azarain once told me I was the strongest warrior in all of Tamriel, but that is a lie. A strong man would have ended his life long ago. Oh, he's a vampire already. At this point, he would have delivered Stendarr's justice upon his soul. I am a weak man, and so I live. The Vigil teaches us that vampires are an abomination to be destroyed without mercy, but in my cowardice I began to entertain the blasphemous that vampirism had a cure. Never has the subject been breached by the keepers. After all, the very idea that these creatures were capable of salvation would threaten the principles of the Order. So to learn more, I sought the aid of the very monster I've sworn to oppose. Molag Bal's price was steep. I was to gather thralls and build an altar deep in the mines of Dawnstar, for purposes that would only become clearer as the nights went on. To that shrine... Okay, so he's the one that kind of built this shrine. I guess that other book that we read, by that other guy, he came to the shrine later. To that shrine, I was to sacrifice the lives of 9 of my brothers and sisters, 1 for each divine. At times, my resolve has wavered, but the prince has offered proof in the form of Galar Rithari. Ah, that's the name of the other book that we gathered. Okay, so the other book mentioned, the shrine that was mentioned in Galar Rithari's book was probably maybe not this shrine, maybe another shrine. Yeah, that occurred a while ago. That's an older book. That's why some of it's faded, I guess. His excerpts prove that a cure exists through a dream of being sliced by thousands of tiny knives from my bowels inside out. As the town speaks of nightmares and the presence of Vermina, I now see why Dawnstar was chosen for this unholy vigil. With only 3 sacrifices left, the ritual is almost complete. No doubt Azarain will see this as treachery, which is why I cannot bring myself to sacrifice him. But with every vigil that dies at our hand, it only calcifies my resolve. The weakness of my mind does not betray the strength of my will. For all my cowardice, I am worth the souls of a dozen men. If I rejoin the vigil, more lives will be saved in the end. Perhaps when the accounting is done, Stendarr will show me mercy. Yeah, so he did come here for a cure. It doesn't say at which point he became a vampire, whether it's before or after he joined the Vigilant of Stendarr. I guess they just never suspected him. Let's have a look at his eyes. No. Turn over. Oh, his eyes are closed. Ugh. Okay, well, that's a interesting quest. So he was to sacrifice a bunch of his fellow Vigilant of Stendarr, and he would be cured of his vampirism. How many? 9. How many did he sacrifice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we got to 6, and the journal said he had 3 more to go, I think. So he never finished. Interesting. Well, we've got this Molag Bal altar here that's kind of disgusting. Can't really do anything with it. That's a neat little story. So they were dissecting this guy. I don't know what they thought they could learn by dissecting this Vigilant. They seem to suspect he's a werewolf, but how is that going to help them? Well, I think that's it for this quest. That's a neat little quest. I like quests like this. They really add a lot of flavor to the game. And Yeah, we just took out a vampire cult. I mean, I feel for them. They were looking for a cure, but I mean, you're looking for a cure at basically the Daedra Lord who was responsible for vampirism in the first place. I don't think that's the smartest move. I think if you're a vampire and you don't want to be a vampire, just do your best, lay low. Don't go seeking out crazy Daedra Lords that'll promise you a cure, because they don't play nicely. They play by their own rules, and they just want to have fun. And they do not care who gets in their way. Well, thank you to Rick Clark, who mentioned that note, because otherwise I would have just passed that by and not found it at all. I completely missed it when I went there the first time, so I appreciate that. Alright, well, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.